Okay, quick review of what I changed. App is the same. Everything outside of components is the same. So starting with game area, I pulled all the constants up to the top. Instead of defining a board width and height here, I used the size coming from the maze. So number of columns is the length of the maze, um, rows is the length of the maze, columns is the length of a single row of the maze. The width and the height are rows and columns times the cell size. Cell size can be changed here to make it bigger or smaller overall. These are still static numbers. We don't have scoring implemented. Scoreboard height. This is the height in pixels of the scoreboard portion. I had to do that in order to get everything fitting correctly. In terms of the return area, I set the style of the board width and height dynamically here. Instead of doing it in the game board CSS, I removed these. I removed the border because that was throwing things off, and we don't really need it now that we have a game. This remains the same right now. For the board styling, we no longer need this grid with the outline of the borders, and this styling system was interfering with the rest. So everything is now absolute positioning. Except the board itself is relative positioning inside the black app area. So this is completely gone, no harm done. We map through the maze, and the size of this div defines the layout. This is what takes up the space. So I've eliminated the flex positioning, added absolute positioning, width and height are defined by the cell size. The top and the left are defined by where it is in the row and the column, and then the background color I kept the same. The Pacman food is basically the same thing. Since this div is being rendered within this map right here, we don't have to do any additional positioning, so we don't need top or left here. I added a margin top and a margin left, and did some funky math in order to get the dots centered within the middle of that div. So it's mostly the same. I changed the colors a little bit. And then for the player movement and yellow dude, I have passed as props the things that had been copied over and were being repeated. So if it was changed in one area, it would break the other areas. And these things, board columns, board rows, and cell size, all come from here. So the maze is imported, and the maze dimensions set the columns and the rows, and the cell size we can set ourselves. Scoreboard height is kind of arbitrary. I think we can change that, but there was a couple rows of the maze that were chopped off the bottom. So by adding in a factor for the scoreboard height, I got the whole maze in. That's game area. Let's look at yellow dude because he's a little smaller. So yellow dude had all of the player stuff copied over, which we don't need. So commented all of this out. We can delete it later. These are the props that I'm passing. Ignore this IDE error. I checked this is the correct current syntax, but the ESLint is incorrect. I gave starting position as a constant, so it would be easier to change where they start from instead of having it embedded in some calculations down here. Pacman position is state, and I just dropped him in there. This is kind of the same calculation that was there before. I just simplified it. This was from leftover from the players. This is the same. These are the same as what's in the player movement, so these could further be extracted into utility functions. But for now, I just left them in. The only thing that changed for handle movement was that I set Pacman position because he's got his own state, or she. And so it was a slight modification from the set player position. I gave him his own keystrokes for now, just so that we can see him move around and someone can do collision detection before we get the smart movement handled. And he needed different keystrokes so that he could move. That's inside the use effect hook, so between putting this dependency array in there, it now moves with every keystroke instead of just once. And this is just where he starts on the screen. It's a div just like everything else with his position determined by the top and left pixels with the cell size set. So he lines up perfectly with the maze. I'll show you here. There's Mr. Pacman, Ms. Pacman. Lines up perfectly inside the maze. The collision detection was already working, but the pixels were not correct because of the hard coding of the board width and height based on CSS pixel size rather than based on the maze and the size of the tiles. So everybody lines up perfectly. Similar refactoring with the players. They had some buggy movement, but now they are perfect. So I just built on the work that Tishtana had done. I didn't change anything with the collision algorithms. The player movement, this has more of the original stuff in there, but I removed all the constants that were at the top. These are now being passed in as props. Starting position is set up here just to make it easy to adjust if needed. So I just simplified that using the starting position rather than hard coding it. It's, I don't know, 6 one, half dozen of the other, but because there were 2 players here, I thought it might be easier to bop it in there. For additional refactoring, we could lift all of these up to the game state, pass them as props to the player movement and the yellow dude. So all of these would be set in the top level component. That is what will let us do our collision detection for the players and the ghosts. These didn't change. This didn't change. This is the only thing that's different for between the two Ghost and Pacman movements is that the set state is different. If we get all of these constants to the top level game app, then updating the position could look the same for every individual character that's on the board, and that would simplify this as well. That can all be abstracted. Players get their own keystrokes, and again, we could abstract this down to just 4 movements and pass them in as an array of props, so that this would be out of the individual component as well. That didn't change. And then here, we had previously been doing some funny pixel positioning because of the difference between the flex grid, the flex display, the grid display, and the absolute positioning. Now that everything is absolute positioning based on row, column, and cell size, we no longer need to do these fudgy things. And I think that is it. I cleaned up this game area CSS a little bit, removed the pixel definition here, and put it dynamically in the app. I removed the border from score, and this doesn't look like it'd make a big difference, but it actually did. If I put this back, I think you'll see some pixels pop in around the border that shouldn't be there. Did you see it shift? And before there was a little line, but it's not a big change now, but we don't need it. So those are all the changes, and I am stoked.